Hey, what's up, guys? It's your host that does the absolute most, Evan Youngblood Williams here. And today's video is just gonna be something a little different. Um, I'm not gonna have any fancy editing, any fancy graphics, no stuff like that. So, these past few days, I basically just gone on a hiatus just so I can focus more on my healing work. So that's why, if you guys have been watching the lives for the past few days, um, you will notice that I've removed the live because, just simply put, my energy just wasn't in the right place. I was trying to force it, and I was just trying to make things happen, right? I was in that mindset of let's grind, let's grind, let's grind, let's stay consistent, let's stay consistent. Ever since, I've been on that 2 week suspension from my job. If you guys want the whole backstory on that, you can just go look at my first live that I've done in a long time with my significant other if you want details on that story. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video just tell you guys I've been doing a lot of shadow work. And after, these past few days of just being consistent with doing my shadow work, um, it just made me realize just how bad I was just suppressing my authenticity. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I wasn't all the way honest with y'all with the way of, how I'm feeling, what I'm currently going through, and just basically with not just being my full raw self on camera. And after just a couple of days of just doing shadow work of, going into meditation after asking questions to spirit, and also just taking out my journal right here. I've been writing in this thing real heavy these past few days. You know what I'm saying? So I've just been really writing down a lot of what I would find in my meditations. Like, I would ask spirit before I go into meditation, hey, grow me, guide me, show me, whatever messages you have for me at this time, just let me know, because I'm gonna open myself up to receive your messages. And then I would go into meditation, and this time, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I used to meditate with a timer on for about 10 to 15 minutes. But I've stopped doing that because I realized, just reflecting back on that um, I've just been trying to force it, so to speak. Kind of like I've been trying to force connections all of my life. I've been trying to force myself to be cheery and happy, because I just couldn't keep it real with myself, guys. I was just putting this mask on of being super cheery, like with my intro, which you see when you most of my videos where it'd be like, "Hey guys, what's up? What's up? It's your host that does the absolute most, spiritual intellectual 777 here, just putting on the fake old smile, and oh man, it's just bananas." And I just like, look, most days I'm not even that cheery. Most days I'm kind of just like in this mood that you see me in right now, where I'm just like calm, I'm chilling, and I'm just hanging back like this. You know? And, you know, that was a result of me not being in tune with my feelings and not being in tune with my emotions, which is one of the things that I find so rewarding about shadow work, is that once you actually stop running from your emotions and your feelings, you actually allow yourself to feel them, you'll find that's where the magic lies. That's where the breakthroughs come through. That's where the true releasing comes through. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've distracted myself for a long time with video games, pornography, um, hanging out with other people because I couldn't stand sitting with myself, and also just relying on my significant other way too much for validation, relying on her for relying on her energy to help get me through the day. And I would be doing all of these things, plus scrolling on social media, of course, with our generation, we just are on social media all the time, just scrolling our lives away, all to distract myself from facing my shadow and from feeling the pent up emotions, right? And just for a long time of doing that, it's just like Spirit was telling me, like, look here, Evan, I've given you warning sign after warning sign after warning sign. But now I'm gonna make it to where you have to sit with yourself. So the walls are pretty much closed in on me right now. And now I'm being, led to face my emotions. And the collective is too. I'm not saying that I'm the only one that's, doing the shadow work. But there's plenty, of people in the collective consciousness as a whole to where we're all being told to face ourselves and to sit with our emotions and to process them and to let them tell us stuff. And I found that by doing these shadow work prompts and doing these meditations, I noticed that the most common emotions that came up was anxiety and being anxious and feeling shameful and feeling guilty about a lot of things, right? And this time I didn't try to make up some lame excuse to try to suppress it or to try to get away from the emotions. I just sat there with them and I felt them. And I asked myself, why am I feeling these emotions? Why are these emotions consistently coming up while I'm meditating? Why are they consistently coming up as I do my journaling? And I just found that, a lot of that anxiousness, that guilt, that shame has come from me having a lot of regrets. It's come from me from how I've treated myself poorly and from how I've treated other people poorly. Because here's the thing, y'all. I'm going to be honest with you. After just doing all this reflections, I realized that oftentimes I was the toxic one in all of my relationships, whether it be romance or whether it be friendships, right? And it's just, and the shadow work has forced me to confront that. It's like anytime somebody has ever done anything nice for me, I would throw it right back in their face and say, that ain't good enough, bruh. You gotta give me more and more and more. Because I had this, this entitlement mentality to where I felt like automatically deserved someone's time, automatically deserved someone's gifts, automatically deserved someone's energy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read you some of my stuff. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to read some stuff. Because some stuff I'm going to keep to myself. So, a quick shadow work exercise that I did was, I wrote down, these simple questions. And this is an exercise that you can also do at your own leisure if you want to. I highly recommend that you do this shadow work exercise. I wrote down the following questions. What parts of myself do I dislike? What parts of myself do I judge? And what parts of myself do I fear? And so, first things first, what I wrote down on the parts of myself that I disliked was, being a perfectionist, being entitled, being a spoiled brat, being a control freak, being self-centered, being competitive, having this grandiose attitude, being materialistic, being a nice guy, and being passive. And so the second question, what parts of myself do I judge? I wrote down being a person that moves too slow, being codependent slash needy, being jealous, being an attention whore, being overly emotional, being sensitive, wanting to be famous, not being aggressive enough, and being a crybaby. And last but not least, the qualities that I wrote down on what parts of myself do I fear. I wrote Machiavellian, being a toxic person, an energy vampire, being arrogant, being a narcissist, feeling like a failure because of not reaching my full potential. And so I'm telling you guys, like, shadow work ain't no joke, man. Like, when you really do shadow work, you really gotta delve deep, man. You really gotta dig to find out all those pent up emotions and find out all the qualities that you've denied within yourself for so long. And so I found that a lot of these so-called, negative qualities or toxic qualities has made me realize just how toxic of a person I was being in all of my relationships. Now, a lot of these I did pick up from my family members and from the environment from which I was raised in. I picked up those qualities from a lot of my peers. But the mistake that I made was taking those qualities and making it a part of me. And so on a subconscious level, I felt like I needed to be an a-hole, and I felt like I needed to be selfish in order to get what I wanted from people. When in fact, that's not even my true nature. And for the longest time, these qualities that I just told you guys right now has led to me sabotaging every single relationship, whether it be romantic or platonic. It's caused me to, have these shallow friendships. It's caused me to have these, shallow romantic relationships as well. And I realized I've deprived myself of a lot of that because I was just scared. I was a scared little boy up until this point because I didn't want to face my emotions. I didn't want to face myself. I didn't want to own up to the fact that, in a lot of ways, I'm a toxic person and I'm manipulative, and that, I've caused a lot of my own pain and suffering. And for the longest time, I've been causing my own unhappiness because I kept holding on to this anger and this bitterness and this resentment. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to knock the table, but I just didn't. I was just out of alignment with who I truly was. And for the longest time, I've avoided doing the real work because this whole time I've been playing spiritual. I've been, having this false positivity because, honestly, a lot of what they teach in mainstream spirituality and the personal development communities is that they always teach you that, oh, these emotions are negative. You should be happy and positive vibes and upbeat, positive vibes only, high vibes only, and all this other bull crap that they just keep pushing out into the masses. And by doing this shadow work, I felt more alive and enriched during these past few days than I've done in my whole life, or I'm being on this spiritual path, because I fell into that trap myself, thinking that, fear is bad and anxiety is bad and depression is bad. And it's like I'm just now owning up to it. And I'm truly, going inside and doing my own work that I've been avoiding doing and procrastinating on for a really long freaking time. And after doing this work, I just asked myself, I'm like, Why did it take you so long to do this, man? Why did you delay doing this for so long? Why did you delay the enrichedness that you were going to feel after you was going to do this work and free yourself from all this madness that's going on inside? And speaking of that, a show I've been watching lately is called Cloak and Dagger. It's on Hulu, so if you have a Hulu account, go watch that show. If you don't have a Hulu account, go ahead and subscribe to Hulu and go watch that show, because I'm telling you, that show has a lot of spiritual codes in it. And I can relate to the character of Tyrone, because me and him have a lot of similar qualities. Like, he's of the pleaser slash fixer personality type. He has those two personality types himself, as being the savior and being the pleaser. And speaking of those, I have in-depth videos where I speak on those personality types, plus the others in the personality types of the age series. So I'm gonna link it somewhere in the video, somewhere on the screen. And I'll also link it in the description below for you guys to go ahead and binge watch that series at your own leisure if you want to. Because I go in depth on that, because I've already made whole videos on that, so I'm not re-explaining it. But to get back on track, Tyrone just, he kept trying to, inflict justice, and he kept trying to save everybody else. But what he wound up doing was making things worse for himself and for the people around him in the process. And I said, dang, man, I've been doing a lot of that myself. I spent my whole life trying to fix my family, trying to fix my friends, trying to fix this person and trying to fix that person. All the while, I was neglecting on trying to heal the one person that needed it the most first. And that was me. I've neglected trying to heal myself. And I've tried to overcompensate for it by trying to be overly cheery, overly motivational. And whenever people would tell me they're depressed, I'll be telling them, nah, don't feel like that. No, there's no need to feel like that. Everything is going to be better. I'm going to lift you up. And I was always the person that was trying to cheer people up and trying to lift them up. But really, all I was doing was running away from my own demons and not allowing myself to feel those emotions. And that's what they were mirroring back to me. And so what I would do was, because I wasn't brave enough to face my own emotions or to own up to them, I would try to go ahead and get people to run and escape from their emotions as well. Which is why, one of the qualities that I wrote on here, which I was being extremely selfish. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just looking at this list real quick, guys. So just give me a moment. Yeah, I didn't really write selfishness down, but yeah, that's one of the qualities that I had the most and that I didn't want to face, was that I was an extremely selfish person. And you just heard the example, guys, of me being selfish by way of trying to save people because I would personally feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like I discussed in the Savior video and the personality types of the age series. Again, if you want to watch that video and the other videos in the playlist, like I said, it's linked in the video somewhere and it's linked in the description. Go check that out. I highly recommend you go check it out. But anyways, yeah, I was just being selfish. I was being self-centered, and I was just thinking for the longest time it was my duty to try to save people. And that was a big, big part of my shadow self that I didn't want to face. And also, another aspect that I want to speak on was the fact that I wanted to be famous. And let me just say this right now. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be rich or famous. Nothing at all. If that's a genuine desire of yours, by all means, embrace that. Show your social media followers that. Show your fans that. Show everybody that you encounter that you want to be rich and famous. Because there's nothing good or bad about it. But the thing about it is that, for the longest time, at least for me, was that I wanted to be rich and to be famous, all for the wrong reasons. I was trying to be rich and famous to try to prove my family wrong for the longest time, that I was worth something. I was trying to prove my worth to my family and to everybody else that has ever done me dirty. And I would be like, see, I told you I can do it. See, I told you I achieved this. See, I told you I achieved that. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. Because I remember in school, from the 7th grade all the way up until, up until like the 12th grade, and even some of the years I've been in college, it's made me realize that I was busting my butt off in school, and I was busting my butt off and trying to work extra hard and trying to, do all this stuff because I was insecure on the inside, and I didn't feel like I was enough, and I felt like I had to please people in order to be happy because I didn't accept myself and I didn't love myself. And so just from the experience of me getting straight A's in school, that didn't make my family pleased with me more one bit. They will give me short-term approval, but then the moment I done something that they didn't approve of and I actually went my own way and tried to do my own thing, I would get chastised and despised for it. And so again, I would be stuck in that vicious cycle of being the pleaser and trying to do all of this stuff, just running myself dry, all because I felt like, that's what I thought people wanted to see. I thought people wanted to see me be super cheery and me being a hardworking student in school. But really, all I was doing was just lying to people. I was putting on this caricature. And speaking of being famous, I think that's subconsciously why I got into acting, was because I wanted to be famous. And why did I want to be rich and to be famous? Was so I can get the love and attention and approval that I lacked, that I felt that I lacked, because I didn't dare look inside of myself and embrace my own magnificence and my own power. Not from an egotistical perspective, but from a spiritual perspective. I didn't accept how powerful I was. And so, to delve deeper into acting, I got into that because I didn't feel safe expressing my truth in person. And so I felt like, with me having the analytical brain that I do, I said, with acting, actors, do get chastised for playing certain characters, but they chastise the character. They don't chastise the actor. And so I said, okay, I'm going to try to express my truth through these different characters. So if anybody gets offended, then they'll blame the character and get mad at them, but not at me. But see, the thing about it was that was just reinforcing the mask the series of social masks that I was wearing. You see, I was trying to chase riches and chase fame because I wanted that, like I said, wanted that love and attention and approval and affection that I didn't dare give to myself. But after doing the shadow work, it took me doing that shadow work to finally admit that to myself. I finally had to admit to myself on why I was trying to be an actor, or why I was trying to be a famous film director, or why I was, chasing social media fame and chasing the clout. Because yes, I was clout chasing for a really, really long time. I'm just going to keep it 100 with you. I was chasing clout for a long time. And it takes balls for somebody to admit that. And it took me this courage to admit this to myself. So when it came to recording another YouTube video, I can be raw and real with you guys. Because for the longest time, I did not want to be raw and real. I didn't want to show my real, true, authentic self. Because I was scared that I would get chastised. I was scared of being vulnerable. I was scared of what people might say on social media. I was scared of people unsubscribing and putting dislikes on my videos and leaving mean, rude, nasty comments.